evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very exciting edition of In This Very Ring. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and it is Friday night, October 11th, and we are 1 week removed from Bad Blood.
Woo!
I am the best there is. Shut up. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. My name is Ritz, and joining me as he does each and every Friday night, the mayor of Toasty Town, this is Butter. What's going on, my guy?
It's a-going. It's great. It's fantastic. Woo! What a week.
Should be some fun times. All
Hell
right.
yeah.
We are 1 week removed from Bad Blood. We are going to do a short show, though, this week. We have no Pete Evans, so we're only going to be on for about half the time. But that being said, topic of conversation tonight centers around the ending of Bad Blood. You know, we saw the return of Jimmy Uso, but then The Rock returned.
Oh, boy.
Rock returned in a 3, 2, 1, kind of cut it. And then he cuts a promo on Instagram, which just leaves more questions than answers. So, Butters, do you agree to this statement? Do you disagree with the statement that The Rock's return left WWE with more questions than answers?
Oh, God, yes, I agree. 100,000, 20,000%. Right, man. Just to come out, stare at the ring, and fade to black. So why are you there, Rock? All right, you return. Maybe you'll come to SmackDown and kind of say why you returned, and SmackDown comes and goes and ends, and no Rock, no words, nothing mentioned, nothing said, not even a sniffle of The Rock. It makes again, agreeing to the poll. What's going on? What are we doing? Why is he here? Is he here to challenge? Is he here to acknowledge? Is he here to say, hey, Solo, go bite the dust? Or, hey, Roman, I'm siding with Solo. I brought these boys in because, I'm the big dog now.
Yeah, you kind of go back to what we've been talking about. You kind of go back to what we've been talking about for a few weeks now, and especially last week. Most of the show was, Rock returning at Bad Blood, which we did report. It was kind of an obvious call. And then, is he going to challenge Cody? How is that going to play? But then at the end of Bad Blood, Kevin Owens attacks Cody, and they don't address that until Friday night, tonight, and even that doesn't really get addressed at all.
Well,
hold on. But then you're okay. You're okay. We'll get to the Cody thing. But then you go to Raw, and there's no mention of it other than in the video packages. Fast forward to Friday where, all right, everybody's on SmackDown. Let's talk about it. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Roman and Jimmy don't mention it in the beginning because they open the show with a great promo.
Yes, they do.
It's not mentioned any other point. There's no vignette with Solo and all mentioning it. The show ends, so Jimmy and Roman got the beat down from the Bloodline, so there's no Rock appearance there to just stand on the apron, on the ramp with Solo and the Bloodline. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then reports were circulating. I think they started, this morning, or was that yesterday morning? Where Rock may not be available.
This morning.
Was it this morning? Okay, it was a long day.
No, you're fine. Yeah. No, it was this morning. When I had seen it, it was halfway through the day, early morning-ish.
Yeah, Rock may not be available for WrestleMania in Vegas in April. And with tickets going on sale in 2 weeks, that's a big report to come out. And for you not to capitalize on The Rock showing up on Saturday, not to capitalize on you do have tickets going on sale in 2 weeks, not to capitalize. And again, keep in mind, this may not 100% be WWE's fault. They may have pulled the trigger on this like it was always planned.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the plan was never to have Rock on Friday night.
Rock said his schedule got a little too heavy.
Yeah, maybe
didn't realize it.
Maybe maybe the plan was to have Rock, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the plan is not to have Rock till next week, and then or even advertise the Rock for the 25th, which is a Friday, I believe. Yeah, tickets go on sale that morning. What's to say that you don't have The Rock put something out there that he is going, in fact, to be at WrestleMania? The reports were a lie, right? Run that promo and have him be there to challenge Cody. There are so many what ifs to it, but again, you can't, in my opinion, and I think if it was Monday and we weren't doing split shows, everything like that, Bad Blood happens on Saturday. You go to Monday, there's no Rock. Okay, makes kind of a little bit of sense. But by Friday, there's still no mention of Rock showing up. What are we doing, guys? We can't just ignore the fact that he was there at the end of the match.
Yep.
So
it's on social media multiple different ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
They put up the whole wire, Rock appeared. Why is he here? What's going on? And to your point, didn't address it. Not even a sniffle.
And with Don, Don says, "Oh boy, Triple H got to maneuver. I'm gonna put my trust in him if The Rock can't show up for WrestleMania." I have to ride with Don on this one because Triple H has shown that he can make pivots. We're talking about WrestleMania like it's tomorrow, right? WrestleMania is still 6 months away,
something like that.
6-7 months away. There's still time to make your changes. Right, I think the biggest pivot that you're going to have to do would be to Survivor Series in the event that you were potentially going to have The Rock involved in that War Games match, which there was a picture circulating around where it was the Bloodline with The Rock versus the OG Bloodline with Cody. Now the Kevin Owens Cody thing is kind of steering us towards, because we already know it's Cody versus Gunther at Crown Jewel. Right now. Could that be Cody versus KO at Survivor Series? We're kind of seeing where they're potentially giving themselves that opportunity to make that pivot, make that shift, and take Cody out of the equation, take Rock out of the equation, and still tell this Bloodline story while waiting for The Rock to see what he can do with his schedule, if there's any movement, if there's any flexibility to where he can pull off some kind of proper story before the build of WrestleMania. Right. I think having Jimmy come out first tonight was a smart move. And having Roman come out and having Roman kind of acknowledge Jimmy, saying he's back, and they are already teasing, they're already laying that foundation of, we need Jay. Roman flat out said it, no yeet. But by the end of the night, it was kind of clear you do need some help.
Sammy's free. So Jimmy can run over and help too.
Right. So you can go get that help that you so desperately need when dealing with, Solo. And it's a perfect, pairing. You have the Usos versus Tama Tonga Tongaloa. You have Sammy versus Jacob Fatu. Sammy's used to playing in that upper, that heavyweight class, that super heavyweight class. And then you have Roman and Solo. In a different world, I would put Jacob versus Roman and Sammy versus Solo, but the story doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Right. So I really think that we're going to start, because Crown Jewel, because of this new title, we're going to have the heavyweight champion versus WWE champion. I mean, the world champion versus WWE champion for both the men and the women.
Dumbest thing ever.
It's not totally dumb, because we did the same thing at Survivor Series a few years back, right? So it's not totally stupid. But now you've told me that Crown Jewel, which was an event we were kind of looking forward to, because the last few Crown Jewels have been pretty decent. Now you tell me that there's not going to be anything to progress the story.
But you're also telling me your other championships don't mean jack shit.
No, because I think there's other stories that you can tell in the 3-week time that you've already been building. given what's been going on with Gunther and how he had that Sammy problem, we'll call it a problem, Sammy problem, and how Cody, is still kind of dealing with the bloodline, you can't build a story for either one of those two leading in 3 weeks' time that people are going to really want to be invested in. You can give me the throw off of Cody versus Gunther, and
you can have Gunther win this one with KO interference to set up a match at Survivor Series between KO and Cody.
Correct.
That's where I feel this is heading. This way, you keep Cody out of that bloodline story, so it can just be a 4-on-4 bloodline war games.
And nobody has to take a pinfall. And I think the same thing with Tiffany Stratton when it comes to Nia and Liv. They had that promo tonight as well.
Poor Tiffany getting ragdolled like she did tonight.
Yeah, but she looked great.
She did.
So you have that playing into it too, where you can have Tiffany come out, Nia, you can further that story. Nia, she can cash in on Nia, right? Because essentially if she cashes in, it becomes almost a winner take all match. Almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she could cash in on Nia, win Nia's titles, and then bail. Liv could pin Nia, win the Crown Jewel title. Nia's left with nothing, and it's all Tiffany's fault. Now you're telling me a great story leading into Survivor Series.
Right? I'll take it.
That's how you do that on the women's side. For the men's side, I think you hit the nail on the head with Kevin Owens coming out, costing Cody the match, causing the disqualification. Right? Cody gets that Crown Jewel title, but Gunther didn't have to take a pin. Right? And
the only problem I see with this is you have yet another pay-per-view with a ton of outside interference.
But you know what? If it's done properly, if it's done right, if it's done well, I am okay with outside interference because we always talk about it. At how, well, why didn't so-and-so just run out? Right? They're friends, they're boys. Why didn't they just run out and help? Greg, Nia being left with nothing is always a great storyline.
Damn.
So if The Rock doesn't show up at WrestleMania, maybe Cody versus Roman again, or is that too watered down? It's too watered down at that point. I don't think.
I mean, all that would be the rubber match to see who's the best out of the best out of three.
Yeah, and I don't think you do that here. Now, if you're positioning Roman as this face that you're kind of inadvertently positioning him as.
Yep.
I love the Kevin Owens attacking Cody on a random person's phone. That was great. Referring to Don. But it wasn't a random person, right? We all know that. We're all smart enough to understand that. But no, it was really good how that video never made WWE social media.
Correct.
Right? It circulated
through somebody random.
Yeah, through but they made it look organic.
Yes, no. You are 100% correct on that one.
Right, and that's why. And Don, I don't think you're dumb by no stretch of the imagination. Because if you looked at it at face value, right, somebody did just catch KO beating up Cody. Was it a work? Was it a shoot? Why isn't WWE sharing this? Why did Triple H post that cryptic tweet? We're going to deal with it internally. So there's so many different layers there that they did. And I think they did it really well. It was a great way to get that information out. Just like The Rock cutting that promo on his Instagram page. That doesn't get shared by WWE either. People are having now to go find these things. WWE saying, it's not us, man. Go talk to The Rock. Go figure out what Kevin Owens is doing. Good luck, guys.
Come watch Friday night. You might get your answers.
We got
half of our answers.
Maybe you'll figure something out, right? Because I didn't KO attack Randy as well.
KO attacked Randy tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
For choosing sides.
Which is, I feel like this is too little, too late when it comes to the KO heel turn. We should have done this when they wrestled at Bash.
I agree.
Right? We
That
even
heel
talked
turn
about
is right
talked
there.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it that preview show too. Triple H is the new Riddler. Stop it.
Keeps us guessing.
But he does it, and it's not a bad analogy.
No, it's refreshing.
Right? It is very refreshing because we're sitting here going, why are you doing this? Right? And I'm sure once they start doing, once Kevin starts cutting promos and starts kind of explaining his actions, if he even does, right, Kevin's going to have some callback to the wars that he and Sammy and Cody all had with the original Bloodline.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be a wild callback, and it's going to be, remember what they said about your dad and all these other things.
Oh, he's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring all of it up. All of it.
No, it's gonna be done really, really well. I don't think like we're coming out of Bad Blood, and we're sitting here talking about how WWE didn't capitalize on The Rock's appearance, but I think they still capitalized on a great pay-per-view.
Yes.
Right?
Punk's out for a little while.
You had easily the match of the year with Punk versus Drew.
Oh my God!
Inside that Hell in a Cell. I think the weakest match on the card was Nia Bailey, because Nia is god awful. She's just awful. And Bailey tried so hard to make her look even remotely decent.
I tell you what, I did love the pinata match.
Well, we'll get to that. And then you get to Damian versus Finn, which was essentially that comeuppance that Damian finally got his hands on Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good back and forth. You saw Carlito, you saw JD, right? But ultimately, Damian got the win. And he kind of closed the book on the judgment. He beat them all.
I mean, he can close that book, but Finn said this ain't far. This is too far from over.
Yeah, and Finn has delusions of grandeur.
This is true
because you're not fighting for anything at this point, right? You kicked him out of the group. He whooped your ass. We move on. Random person grow up. I think he's referring to which match are you referring to? Probably the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And then you go to Rhea and Liv, which was a great match until the last about 3 minutes. And it was just a miscue, and everybody's kind of dogging on Raquel. Yes, she missed her mark, right? She came out too early. I think we got to give props to the referee for not insulting our intelligence and acting like he didn't just see Raquel blast Rhea.
Oh my God, it was a breath of fresh air with these refs.
Right? I thought that was fantastic. Rich, why isn't Finn competing for the heavyweight belt? Feels like he's just taking a back seat. Oh, the biggest back seat. I was a big Finn guy when he was doing the Balor Club and Intercontinental Champion, when he became the first Universal Champion, Demon Finn, all of that. Very big Finn guy. I don't like Finn as a heel, and I've said that numerous times over. I think he's a great wrestler. Hopefully what he's doing with Damian right now can get him back into the main event scene. I don't know if they don't believe in him, because if you think about it, he really hasn't wrestled for the title ever since he got hurt.
Yep.
Right?
And that one time he gets thrown and his ropes got cut under him. That's it.
Yeah. So there's always been something with Finn. I would love to see him take another run, but I also don't know how much he hasn't left in the tank. He is 43, to your point. We don't see him wrestling as much as we used to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's a smart utilization of him. It may extend the career a little bit. We don't know.
That the storylines right now, it's just he's way too off the path to kind of be in that title picture.
Yes and no. I think you could get him there, especially with Gunther. I think there's absolutely a way to get him there.
I mean, yeah, you can build that bridge, but
was going to go somewhere. I was going to transition into something. No, I don't think they do approve the name of the Bullet Club. I think that could change potentially, but then I also think there's some. I think New Japan might actually have that trademarked at this point.
Either New Japan or someone like Kenny or someone that is a part of the club.
Are we going to get Wyatt 6 versus Final Testament? No, I don't think so yet. I don't think Don, I don't think you collide these two forces. And I say forces because you have the Karrion Kross effect, but you also have the Wyatt effect. I don't think you cross those yet because who comes out of that change? I like having, I wish they were on different brands personally because the Wyatts kind of make Kross seem useless. But the way Kross does it is so long, drawn out, and methodical, and he doesn't necessarily turn them into a bad guy, right? He doesn't poison them. He just essentially
changes their perspective a little bit.
Yeah, he changes their perspective, and if you don't like that, oh well. Like with Xavier Woods, he's changed Xavier's perspective, and yeah, Xavier has done what he's got to do to get the wins, but he got steamrolled Monday night. I think he got steamrolled. Right, Monday night in the Intercontinental title match. Yeah, be pissed off.
I mean, look at the Miz.
Yeah, Miz breaking
Miz
off.
Is getting there too.
Yep, from R-Truth, and try to go back to the point where he was a dominant champion. He was, holding Intercontinental gold. He was, world champion, WWE champion. Main eventing PLEs and things like that. So, we're not, like I said, we're not doing a long show tonight. But I did want to. I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about, The Rock coming back. Talk a couple of things. Full disclosure, it's just been a long week, right, guys? Don, it is a great time to be a wrestling fan. That's why I didn't want to miss the show tonight. It's just been a really long week, so we are going to cut it here. We got probably about 7 minutes left or so. We're going to go to about the half-hour mark. Just real quick so you guys can get our thoughts and everything like that on it. I know Butters had brought it up in our chat, our show chat. Talking, should we talk about Wrestle Dream? I couldn't care less, honestly.
The only thing I'm interested in is, does Daniel Bryan lose and does Christian cash in?
Right, I that has some of it too.
That's
right?
about it. I mean,
I'm looking at the match card, right, and I think Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita could tear the house down. Right, I'm glad that Jay White is back. He's going up against Adam Page. Right,
that'll be a good one. I mean, it's a small card, ain't it?
11 matches.
Oh no, they added more. Dear God, last I checked, it was like 5-6 matches, and that was last week.
And now you've got. I mean, it's just AEW, right? You know. And it's hard right now. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan if you like WWE. It's a hard time to be a wrestling fan if you're an AEW fan. It's just tough. Right? Because while they're putting on, some good matches, how we got there is rough as hell. But let's break this down for a second. Let's talk Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, because it is kind of out of left field for Moxley to kind of go after Danielson. There was nothing leading up to him winning the world title that said, "Oh, the BCC's going to turn on you."
He's doing this kind of conspiracy nut job character.
So that leads me to the question of, do we see Shane McMahon on Saturday?
I don't think we do.
Part of me says we do, but I think
it says it's not Shane McMahon, that it's somebody else,
and it could be somebody else. But
who I wouldn't even begin to tell you.
I could see it being Shane, and it's funny to me. You take somebody who was part of the original failed invasion angle in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a failed angle. It worked, it did what it did, but it could have been so much better if they would have just waited a year.
And then also get some of the big dogs from it,
That's what I'm saying. You wait a year to all these contracts. Because the next year you had Hogan, you had Hall, you had Nash, you had the NWO, you had Goldberg, you had all these, Page, Flair. You had WCW's core. You could have gotten Sting.
Goldberg, Steiner.
Yeah, you had all these opportunities and you messed it up. So you went and got Shane, and also from the wrestling business side, he's the least impactful McMahon that you could have gotten. Right? No disrespect to him whatsoever.
No, I think Linda would be the least.
No, why? See, and Jack said the same thing, and no, because if you think about what Shane did versus what Linda was CEO. A lot of people forget that. She was legitimately the CEO of the company for years. And while Vince was running around doing the live shows and doing the house shows, like he was on tour with them, she was still running a multi-million-dollar company.
I was about to say she was in the corporate side. He's more of the down in the back.
But you still need, and I'm sorry, but you still need, with a wrestling industry, you still need a corporate side.
Mm-hmm.
You still need somebody that's able to run your company and make the decisions necessary and put people in places. Because Linda's still the one, back in the day, she was still going and talking to JR about the talent when, JR's in charge of the talent. Still going and having the conversation with creative. Hey, why are we taking it in this direction?
Mm-hmm.
Right? She weighed in on a lot of things, and people forget that she held such a big pivotal seat in the company. And then when you look at what she did on air in the Attitude Era, Linda wasn't on all the time like Shane was. When Linda came on, you knew big things were happening.
Yeah.
The return of Mick Foley after his retirement match in Royal Rumble 2002 or No Way Out 2002, right? Just in time for WrestleMania. The program with Trish and Vince and her being catatonic was probably the best work she did, because she just literally had to sit there and be catatonic.
Yeah.
When she announced Austin was the new CEO in spite of Vince, because her and Stephanie sold their shares to Austin, and just all these different things, different, right? She was impactful then. And she held that company and she ran that company through being a publicly traded company, through different scandals. You bring Shane, all he really did was, I think at one point he might have been in charge of live events, maybe. Right? He was never somebody that was officially in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was more of an on-screen talent. And even then, some of it was rough.
Yeah.
Right? If Shane does show up, great. Right? You're kind of positioning him with ex-WWE people, which I don't know how well that works. To turn around and say it's not your company. But, it's not yours either. You don't go here. But, like I said, guys, we were doing a short one this week. Just kind of getting our feet wet, getting you guys some info. We got about 40 seconds left. Butters, do you have anything else before we get out of here? I kind of want to take us right up to that 30-minute mark.
No, I had something on my mind earlier today and kind of forgotten what it was. I should have wrote it down.
Fair enough. No worries. Appreciate you jumping on with me for a short show. Really just wanted to get some of this out there. Appreciate you guys in the chat being with us again. I know it's a short show, but we really wanted to come on here. We really wanted to give our thoughts. We really wanted to weigh in. I honestly wasn't even planning on doing the show, because then this is going to be pouring salt in the wound. I thought the Phillies would have went further in the playoffs. But, with that, for Butters, I'm Ritz. Until next week, peace, love, and joy. We are out of here.